Om Shanti. So, welcome all of you to the workshop number 83 on maturity. And before we begin, let's try to reflect on this value of maturity. Asking oneself this very basic question: am I mature enough spiritually? Specifically speaking about spiritual maturity, there are many aspects to this concept. All of us are mature in our own ways in the Lokik world, in the outside materialistic world where we belong to. But speaking of spiritual maturity, what are its components? What does it comprise of? And if there are any lacunae still, what can I do to improvise on my spiritual maturity? So from today's workshop, let's try to explore these aspects of maturity. So, welcome all of you once again. And as always, we have less participants today, but we'll start because the icebreaker video is a big one for around 4.5 minutes. So I won't be spending more time discussing that. Let's see how much time we have for getting the sharings. And as always, we have our team of facilitators and the interpreters. So we have Sister Anu and Sister Shruti both joining, and our interpreters as well. So welcome all of you, and also a big thank you to the participants for being on time. Don't worry, maybe the numbers would increase, but let's start. So a very simple video which I would want you all to see in the next 4.5 minutes and see what insight you gain. It's all very straightforward, 7 signs of maturity, but let's see what you can gain more from this.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to our channel. How do you know if someone is as mature as they appear? Is your grandpa Frank really as wise as he says? Although we often associate maturity with age, there's also emotional maturity to consider as well. You don't need to be in your 70s to be emotionally mature or wise. Some people can be well into their adult life, yet they lack the maturity of some of their younger counterparts. So how can you tell if someone is really mature and wise? Here are 7 signs someone is truly mature. Number 1, their choices are based off their character instead of their feelings. Do you let your emotions get the best of you? Does this often result in poor decisions? Those who are emotionally mature base most of their choices on their character as opposed to their feelings. They take time to assess the situation and evaluate. They have a set of values they live by, and it's these values that take the lead rather than a sudden negative emotion. It's their character that ends up controlling their emotions. They simply need to remember who they are and what they stand for to calm down any biased feelings that can contribute to poor decision-making. Number 2, they are patient. Patience is a virtue. While it certainly is for the wise. If you're mature, you realize that large goals often take a good amount of time and effort to achieve. Those who are mature will work hard to get what they want, but they also understand that they can't get it done at the drop of a hat. Good things often take time, and because of their patience, they often realize that everyone else has their own troubles and conflicts to deal with as well. This leads to them being patient with others as well. Number 3, they keep long-term commitments and promises. A promise is a promise, and it'd be wise to see through with the promises you make. When a mature person makes a commitment, they keep it. When feelings of motivation are no longer present, they don't let that stop them. They push through any feelings of frustration or boredom because they know the reward awaits at the finish line. Gratification comes later, but it's well worth it to them. Number 4, they actively listen more and talk less. People value those who actively listen in a conversation, those who engage back with them and respond with thoughtful ideas and add value to the conversation. They don't just focus on what their response will be and when they'll get a chance to share it. Instead, they take into account the other individual's points and use them to give a thoughtful response. This makes for much more interesting discussions that lead to understanding each other's opinions. Mature individuals also realize that there's a lot to learn from others. Choosing to observe others and listen to what they have to say gives them a greater opportunity to learn from them, determine their view, and then give a thoughtful response. Number 5, they don't need attention and possess a sense of humility. Mature people are humble and don't often seek attention to themselves. They realize that they've learned from others and can learn more from them as well. They don't put themselves above others simply because they've succeeded. They instead treat everyone with kindness and openness. A mature person can still be confident and proud of their achievements, but they don't need praise from others to be happy with themselves. Being proud of themselves is enough. Number 6, they're open-minded. Time to open your mind. If you're mature, you're often open-minded and respectful of contrasting opinions. Those who are mature realize they shouldn't judge others and that each individual has different circumstances. There are different struggles each of us go through, different experiences that lead us to our views. Mature individuals realize this. They also realize there's a lot to learn in life, so it's best to keep an open mind. As wise as they may be, they don't have all the answers. And number 7, they're self-aware and know when to hold themselves accountable. Self-awareness is key in emotional maturity. A wise person knows that they need to step back from any heated situation and assess their feelings. They realize each action has a consequence. Knowing this, they don't just think about the consequences for themselves, but for others too. Their words have weight. Their decisions can lead down so many different paths. Being aware of this prevents them from making poor choices. When they do make a bad decision, they have enough self-awareness and humility to admit they're wrong. They hold themselves accountable, adjust their behaviors, and take responsibility for their actions. It's the mature thing to do. So how mature do you think you are?
You're wonderful. Too much of talking, I felt, because this wasn't an animated video. So we have, oh, just 1 minute. So sorry. So we are actually covered in our workshops on humility, patience, open-mindedness, which were a few qualities. I think accountability, we haven't. Responsibility, we have covered. And efficiency, self-awareness will be the upcoming values soon. And commitment also we have covered. They said that commitment was also there. So any few thoughts you can quickly share in the chat box. It is a file being shared. Let us see what. Okay. Yeah, so the links have been shared with you. Thanks, Sister Anu, and thank you, Sister Rena, for your comment of making sense. Thanks. So let's go ahead with, I think, the first exercise. Over to you, Sister Anu. Thanks.
Thank you, Manoj, brother. Yeah, maturity definitely decorates our life, and it was a beautiful video. I think it gives, gave us all the shades of maturity that will make a difference in our life. And I think I would request Manoj Bhai to share screen for our first exercise.
Sure.
So as we always do, let's reflect on maturity in our lives. And so for that, we'll reflect in our life on a person who demonstrated maturity in his or her actions and succeeded. So let's take a moment to first reflect on, a person who comes to your mind who has handled or acted maturely in particular situation or in general, and you have seen that successfully. And as you reflect, on that mature behavior or on that person who is mature. Let's collect the points. What are the benefits of becoming mature? So what, the person who demonstrated maturity and succeeded, when you reflect on that, reflect on what are the benefits of maturity and jot them down, and then we can ask you to please share after a minute. Nice. I'm sure you all have got some thoughts about maturity and the person. It would be nice if you can share what are the benefits of maturity that you could gather from this reflection.
Yeah, and sorry, just one more thing. If you all want to mention the name of the person as well, will be great. Name and benefits. Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure we all have a person who we feel so mature, so wise. We turn to them for something or other. So if you can share the name of the person who is mature and the benefits of being mature. Yes, Vidhi sister, you can start.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would tell my husband, because in any situation, he will, make the things so sorted rather than we will get so tense and he'll be relaxed. And I can see, that tension atmosphere will be so relaxed in 5-7 minutes. Things will be sorted and everything is so calm. Whatever the decision may be, but yeah. So then we leave it up to him. We know for sure whatever the result or consequences, and then we are relaxed. Once he handles it, we are relaxed.
Yeah. Beautiful. So relaxation, that's around him, in him, that relaxes everybody else around, and the calmness and the situation is sorted out with calmness and relaxed atmosphere. That's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Vidhi. So Brother Manoj says, Asha Didi, the maturity that she shows and the benefits, calmness, stability, and inspiration. Thank you. Anil brother says Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi ji. So maturity, non-violence with non-violence and focusing on whatever is good he did. That's maturity. Suvas says maturity overcome the unknown situations and bring stability always. So anyone else would like to share? Please unmute and share. Yes, Sharonah, sister, you want to share? Yeah.
Okay, I will take names here because...
Go ahead. First Rehna, then yeah, we'll go to Denise.
I won't take names here because everybody knows the person. So, but whatever I saw in the video, okay, a lot of qualities were discussed, and I haven't found a person who has all those qualities. Some are there and some are missing. But the person was, instrumental in counseling me because I had a phase of a very low phase. So he was my counselor. And had shown a lot of maturity in listening to whatever I had to share without any judgment. And that was a huge help in, helping me overcome my awkwardness in interacting with people. And he was never judgmental, and he had taken it as a challenge to, get out everything that is on my mind without any judgment, and offering help wherever is needed without any criticism or without any judgment. And that helped a lot.
Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, being non-judgmental and being there and truly who can help. That's the sign of maturity. So we can't know the person though. That's okay if you don't want to share. Thank you, Rena. How about Denise, sister, you would like to share?
Hi. The person that came to mind, besides the founder of this organization, who's exhibited all the qualities of maturity, is my uncle, who was always very balanced, independent, didn't waste time, and did everything, was able to do everything, but was very quiet. Yet he had a balance of childlike humor with seriousness, and he never brought any issues, but he would listen to others and always be encouraging. And I really felt like he was an embodiment of maturity. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point you brought. A childlike, it's not immaturity or childishness, but childlike innocence or easiness and maturity being there always. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dennis, sister. Jujur Singh says, I also had non-violence, not getting angry. That's the quality of being mature. Geeta Jumani says, maturity brings stability and calmness and courage. That's beautiful. Yeah, Sweta, sister says, Didi Nirmala. And silently find solution, caring without showing. That was the quality of the maturity Didi Nirmala showed. Yeah, she would be so quiet, silent, but the answers are profound, right? Always, whenever she shared. Beautiful. Senem, sister says, Dadi Janki, Didi Sudesh, Prashant, Dr. Prashant Bhai, Anu, whichever Anu, Sarah, Jagdish, many, many more in London, Cambridge. But first initiated by my Lokik sister in Cologne. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Senem. Whoever know you, so you also show the maturity.
Maybe Sister Sanam
maybe
wants to speak because she never speaks out. If she wants to.
Yeah, Senem, sister, you would like to speak today. Share.
Thank you
Maybe
very
one or
much.
two.
Yeah,
quality.
sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I sometimes just speak, but yeah, why not? It was a good chance to share all these names too, which I started with Daddy Janki. But my sister was very stubborn on me because it was during COVID where I actually, before COVID, where I lost my grandmother, and she saw how I was suffering, and then I was on hospital at some point. Vinash hit me, and just want to keep it short because it is a big story actually. And then she was always trying to get me involved in BK. She said, "You will find help. You will need to stop sorrow." And so in the end, she made me meet Daddy Janki in London when she was here. And when I saw Daddy connected me to my grandmother. And when I saw her, and I had no questions. It was all the first time for me. And my grandmother, who died the year before, I missed her so much. The first thing and the only thing I said was, when I saw Daddy, I said Oma. Oma means grandmother in German. And she looked at me and she said, Shanti. And she thought potentially maybe I don't know how to say Shanti. And I said Oma, because I saw my Oma. And yeah, so I cried and cried and cried. And that was the last time I cried. And I'm very happy. So she also was stubborn. She connected me, Brother Prashant, Sarah, and this is how it goes. Canada with Anu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senem. Beautiful sharing. when we sometimes go to that complete bottom of adverse situation or experiences, and you meet somebody who is so mature, yeah, maybe we could connect that how you might have felt. So thank you so much. Golden says they have the problem solving character. Linda says oh, I'm not sure. She's talking about Brother Ashish Worthing. Oh yeah, the name. Brother Ashish in Worthing, UK. Sister Val in Croydon. Sister Leza. Very nice, right? To connect with those people who came into our mind. They showed maturity. That's beautiful, and they inspired us. Yeah, thank you so much for all your sharings. As you will move on with our session with more deeper reflection on maturity, let's just look at what are the points we collected. So, Brother Deepak, if you can show us the points that all shared. Oh, yeah. So maturity, the benefits are on overcoming unknown situations, bringing stability always. We remember so many of our people in our lives, husband who showed relaxation, calmness in the atmosphere through his maturity, Asha Didi, calmness, stability, inspiration, Mahatma Gandhi, non-violence, offering help whenever needed, and no judgment. Uncle, somebody remembered Uncle, so balanced, independent, great listener. Maturity brings stability and calmness and courage. Courage was something new, definitely. Didi Nirmala, who silently found solutions and no show off, and she could give the right answer or guidance. And Citizen shared how she met Dadi Janki and connected with that very beautiful, loving energy that Dadi Janki had with maturity, non-judgmentalness, accepting everybody. And problem-solving character is one of the benefit that matured people show. Yeah, thank you, everyone. I'll now hand it over to Brother Manoj for the next. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So all of you got beautiful opportunities to name. Okay, and someone, yeah, okay. So in the meantime, yeah, I can see some few people writing their names. So good to write your names. And if you are new to these workshops and you want to receive all the materials which we provide later, all the links, all the videos which we play, the links of those and all the materials, kindly share in your WhatsApp numbers and your email addresses so that we can send it to them as well. And it's a good opportunity to name out people so that we know, yes, they have these specialities. Okay, so let's move further. I'll share the screen, and as always, before we go on to the action planning to enhance our spiritual maturity, I'm sure no one is really getting disturbed by this word called spiritual maturity. We wanted to keep it maturity, but I felt as an audience, all of us are on some sort of a spiritual journey, each to his own, since quite a few months, maybe years, many years. So why not explore spiritual maturity rather than just the maturity aspect? So I think you all will take it in that right context. So let's go further. As again, it's all Sister Puja's animations. You can see the beautiful flow of the lake or the pond, whatever that is. And let's go into this meditation mode now. So let's begin. Take a deep breath in and out. Look at this, feel this beautiful energy that you are. The tiny point of light behind center of the forehead. And as you feel that energy, the soul energy that you are. Let's create this next thought that how I, the soul, have been on a long, long journey since time immemorial. And I have had countless experiences recorded in me. Experiences, majority of them are happy and positive. And a few of them not so nice ones. But let me not be judgmental on the quality of these experiences. But just emerge this thought that I am an experienced, mature soul on a journey since time immemorial. And now it's time to go back home. Which is my eternal abode, the supreme abode, the soul world, where I again unite with that supreme soul and merge all those experiences within me. And as Raj Yoga, taught by the Supreme Being, that every 5,000 years I repeat and become more and more mature with my past experiences. So as all of us know, the confluence age is on. Ancestor soul, the soul who's played many parts over many births. And now today, as I sit on the confluence age, reminiscing my past positive experiences, what else can I do in the time that is left of confluence age till the time I'm in this body? What is it a little bit more in my effort I can bring in, which will help me enhance my spiritual maturity? So let's pause here, and with this thought, let's come back and make ourselves ready for the action plan. So let's stop sharing and over to Sister Shruti first. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj Bhai. So let me start sharing my screen. And as Manoj Bhai was saying, we've talked a lot about maturity. We saw a video which again gave us so many points on maturity, and we're talking also about spiritual maturity. So what we'll do in this next section is more about reflecting on what are some of the changes that I can bring in myself
how can I start depicting more of that spiritual maturity, which is not subject to age or any of the other physical characteristics of the body, but more in terms of the spiritual age, more in terms of how I feel, how I come across, the intangibles. So if we could spend a few minutes thinking about what is it that I could do to bring about some more change as I continue on this journey. So as always, I'll play a little bit of music just to help us focus, a couple of minutes of reflection, and then we'll come back to Are we ready to discuss? Anybody like to get us started?
Yes, Om Shanti.
Shanti, happy sister.
For me is yes, more listening and less talking, but not just listening the word, listening the feelings. That is what is my practices these days, and more patience and humble and appreciating others. What they're really trying to say is acknowledging them.
Very
And,
nice.
yeah, so that's a few of the things that came to my mind.
Very nice listening, and not just listening to the words, but listening to the feelings. That's beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else?
Om Shanti.
Yes, Lataben. Go ahead.
Om Shanti. I totally agree with the Harpreet sister, and just would like to add one more point. Spiritual maturity is when I change myself first. I understand that self-transformation is more important, and then I can do the service of doing the world transformation or being a world benefactor. So I change myself first and bring the qualities in me. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Like bringing the awareness back to that I am also responsible in this journey or in this environment. So bringing it back to myself and self-transformation. Very nice. Anybody else?
Shall I?
Yes, please go ahead, Sister Anna.
Okay. So, like the sister said, self-transformation is needed, but then, we can't wait to have all the experiences that others are having and then learn from it. Okay, we have to learn from others as well. So what I have been thinking about maturity is, there's a difference between a fruit which is naturally ripened and which is artificially ripened, okay, or chemically ripened. We know from the taste, okay. So if the person is actually full of values and virtues and all the powers, okay, they naturally radiate it, okay, and they're very confident. Okay, they don't, but if a person is not a naturally ripened fruit, okay, they tend to become overconfident and sometimes arrogant. Okay, and in that arrogance and overconfidence, they tend to advertise themselves more. Okay, and they feel the need to advertise themselves, and they also feel the need to pull down others and talk down others to make themselves feel better. But a naturally ripened fruit, okay, a confident person, they radiate the values, they uplift others and they empower others, no matter what that person is in. Okay, whatever situation the other person is in, or whatever situation that person is in, they don't feel a need to advertise themselves or be arrogant and overconfident and pull down or talk down others. So this is one thing, I make it a point to, imbibe in myself. Thank you.
Very nice, and a very, very interesting example and simile around the natural ripening and the artificial ripening. So very, very beautiful. Thank you, Sharonah. Anybody else?
Can I speak?
Yes, please go ahead, Ekta.
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead, Ekta.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yes, sure. I I believe that there is a certain level of maturity at every age that each of us have. And as we age, I think the most mature thing to do is to stay in touch with the innocence within. So once we stay in touch with that innocence within, keeps a lot of that brings a lot of cleanliness. And when that cleanliness seeps in, it makes you come back to your own self and be that person. That's what I want to say.
That's beautiful. And, as your own comment said, it's not about, I mean, you started with as we start to age and come back to innocence. But as your comment concluded, really, that had nothing to do with age. It's just about experience. And we all know that some very young people can also be extremely mature. It's that, can we stay innocent? Can we stay clean? Can we stay true to ourselves? So that's beautiful. Thank you.
There's this beautiful song by Enigma, which is known as Return to Innocence.
Right.
So it is, yeah. So it does remind me to always stay in touch with the innocence within.
Very nice.
And if you say it in Hindi, it's कहते हैं हमारे अंतर मन में एक लहरें होती हैं, उस लहरों में मासूमियत होती है, उस मासूमियत से जब हम जुड़े रहते हैं तो खुद खुद के साथ ही रहते हैं. So I at times try to practice it, and that's what I keep the aim that I keep practicing it.
Very nice, very nice. Now it's like you're making us all think of listening to this song all over again with a different lens. So thank you. Anybody else?
Problem.
Prajpal Bhai, would you like to speak?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
say
please go ahead.
this. Spiritual, this maturity is to keep silence
Mhm.
and remain in the soul consciousness condition, that I am the soul, you are the soul, and detach from the worldly matters and connect with him more so during the Amrit Vela, and attains vibrations from him and spread the vibrations to others. And this maturity is the acceptance, understanding, listening and understanding others, and acceptance. And then maturity is to cooperate, to adjust, As Guru Nanak says, एक ने कहा दूसरे ने मानी, नानक कहे दोनों ज्ञानी, and it solves so many of the problems. Maturity is to stabilize whenever you want, and maturity is to aim for perfection. Maturity is you create a thought of abundance and start giving. To begin with, first start forgiving and then start giving, remembering giving is receiving. Om Shanti.
Very nice, brother. So many wonderful points, not just listening, accepting, cooperation, giving, and having that spiritual practice. Beautiful. So lots of wonderful points there. We have just a few more minutes. Let me start reading a few comments that have come in the messages. Dr. Manoj says, develop more tolerance and acceptance towards people's behaviors and personality traits. So again, acceptance and not getting disturbed at the drop of a hat. There is something there in Portuguese, I think. Gulden says, I can act in a very clear way, and there must be parallelism between what I say and act. So I think there is just that's synchronization between what I'm saying and what I'm doing must be the same, and I must be very clear. Thank you. Anil says patience. Subhash says spiritual maturity elevates our words and actions. Shweta says being a well-wisher, being responsible to create an atmosphere where all feel comfortable and inclusive. So again, taking that responsibility and extending those feelings to others. Jayanti says to accept everyone as they are. Lara says always live in the knowledge that this will all end and not take the scenes so seriously. Yeah, so this too shall pass. Very nice. Gita Jumani says self-awareness, accountability, and take responsibility. So accountability as well, not just awareness. So we have about a minute more if somebody would like to share. Otherwise, we can summarize. Okay, so then I think I'll take that as a cue. Deepak Bhai, if you want to share your screen and we can summarize.
I would just say one.
Yeah, go
more
ahead.
thing.
Yes, please go ahead.
We have a saying, we have a shloka in Bhagavad Gita which says, Tulya Ninda Stutir Mane, which means, okay, Ninda Stuti Man Apman Jay Parajay Sukh Dukh Sardi Garmi Barish. हर हालत में जो स्थित प्रज्ञ रखते हैं, तो जो stable state of mind, that equanimity, okay, वो जो maintain करता है, that is a mature person.
Very nice. So equanimity. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, Deepak Bhai, back to you. Thank you, Sister Anna. Yes, there's some lovely, lovely thoughts, lovely churnings. Always live in the knowledge that this will all end. So again, don't take the scene seriously. This too shall pass. Develop more tolerance and acceptance towards others, other people's behaviors and personality traits. Listening more, not just to words, but also the feelings and less talking, especially when you're listening. Spiritual maturity is self-transformation, which will lead to world transformation. Not getting disturbed at every drop of a hat. Act in a very clear way. Maturity is being able to radiate divine qualities naturally and uplifting others naturally instead of artificially, trying to pretend, or that authenticity. And sister was using the example of a naturally ripened fruit versus artificial. Spiritual maturity elevates our words and actions. Patience, self-awareness, accountability, take accountability, being a well-wisher, staying true to the inner self and returning to the innocence within. Accept everyone as they are. And maturity is about being soul conscious and forgiving, giving, not getting caught up in trivial things. It's lovely, lovely sharing. And with this, I'll hand it back to Anuj Bhai for the next part of the workshop.
Okay, so thank you so much, all of you, for your beautiful sharings. And So let's move on with the other part of the workshop as we always do. So we had a very experienced, senior, very mature Raj Yogi, Sister Dr. Kala Iyengar, and she is the director of the Peace Village Retreat Center. Why I'm telling you the title is because, you know, we have these seniors with us who have lived their life. And being a director, they have to see so many, as I was mentioning even about Asha Devi. So they have really to see a lot of challenges, and they convert every challenge into an opportunity with a lot of maturity. They have to listen to so many people very patiently and help them out, cooperate with everyone who's coming to them. So there are so many qualities of maturity. It's actually an abundant value, I must say. So thank you. All of you have really contributed immensely to this value. And at the end, there was something coming up about equanimity as well. So hold on, in the next few months, we're having equanimity as well and efficiency as well soon. So let's go on to what Sister Kala had to mention. She spoke about Mama. Now, for those who are new here, Mama was the first administrative. Mama is again a word in Hindi, as we say mummy in English. So she was one of the first administrative heads of the Brahma Kumaris. And I mean, if you look at her photo, it's there in front of you of the screen. I mean, it's nothing actually about physical looks, but the first look at her, a first glance at her, she was a very mature person. And she used to, I remember this, many people say in stories, the seniors about her, that she used to say, have this natural smile on her face, and she never used to laugh aloud. And that's what is the practice in Brahma Kumaris, where everything is on a very subtle level. If the soul is happy, let it smile from inside. Let it just be a smile on the face, and let it not be a laugh loud. I mean, let it not be a very loud laugh. So it just reminded me suddenly looking at her. And Sister Kala mentioned maturity comes across even without speech and action. So even with just looking at your face, people may just feel that. And the energy of synergy comes. And she mentioned these three things, that a person is mature in the way he or she perceives things, in the way they respond, and feel about people and things. And it very closely correlates with the video which we showed you all in the icebreaker video, that people have good character, but to balance that character, it is also the feelings. And here comes what we call the emotions, how we are feeling, and the EQ. So along with IQ, intelligence quotient, how good is my EQ as well, emotional quotient? And all of us know that emotional maturity is a very important part of spiritual maturity as well. So if I can really face circumstances in my life with a lot of courage, as you all said, also this value, and I'm able to accept people with tolerance as they are, which means my EQ is very high in emotional quotient. She went on to mention quite a few values. The first is having an all-inclusive approach. Like she mentioned about her example that I remember she shared that there were many people who were speaking to her, and they were like not very spiritual minded, and they wanted to come, or they had come to Peace Village, something like that. So many people were having inhibitions about those people. Oh, they are not spiritual, they are like that, blah, blah, all that. So she said that I took a moment and said that let's listen to what their ideas are, even if they are not spiritual, or if we don't like what they are saying, let's listen to this. And I think this is a very important value, listening, which reminds me of all the seniors in the Brahma Kumaris institution. Is whenever you go to them with anything, they'll always listen to you. And listening to you, not only with the ears, but listening to you with a lot of drishti, I must say. They look at you with as if you are a pure, sparkling soul who's speaking. And that drishti, it's a Hindi word, sorry, I'll translate it in English for people who don't understand what drishti is. It's that vision, the pure vision which the seniors had towards every soul. So this really makes a lot of difference. Such people, mature, are usually big-hearted, generous, sort of, they want to give you everything. And as Sister Rena was saying about the mature fruits, I mean, that's a part of their maturity. They are just there for you, so generous. They have the capacity to keep giving, and without having that insight that, oh, I want in return something, never. And they're always in the unlimited, what we call here at Brahma Kumaris, the Hindi word Behad. And that actually draws cooperation. And again, the energy flows naturally if you are generous and big-hearted. A very important quality they portray is they make big things very small. Unlike some of us, we just make small things into big ones. And all of us know that there's an English proverb that making a mountain of a molehill, that's what we are not supposed to do. And at Brahma Kumaris, we go one step further. So make into a molehill of a mountain, and further down, in Hindi we say, Rai ka pahar nahi banao, that's mountain rai. Make it rai. Rai is a seed, it's a mustard seed. And we say convert it from, we in the sense, the supreme teachings which are given here is convert that rai into rui, which means rai is a mustard seed which is a little bit rough, and you can feel the roughness on the skin, whilst rui means a cotton wool. Cotton wool is something so soft you don't even realize when it's there on the skin, and you can just blow it off. So make every situation in life, as more and more you mature, situations become nothing in front of a mature soul who's very experienced. Moving on, they are essential. We have covered this. I remember Sister Denise covered this talk in detail for us during the episode. They can really help you if such mature people, if you're very elaborative, they'll get you into the essence. And that is the way to also help you improvise on your decision making. So problems can be solved very fast. Again, I would say in Hindi, here we are taught that convert from yourselves, convert from being problem-oriented to solution-oriented. We call it in Hindi, Samasya Swarup se Samadhan Swarup. And yeah, we saw the video, patience, listening and patience. These are two big qualities I must say of maturity. Let's see how I'm doing on the time. I have 6 more minutes left. Okay, so let's go further. So she said that spirituality and maturity are very closely linked to each other. The more a person is on the spiritual path, the more he becomes mature. He develops that wiseness. I mean, he's not only just knowledgeable, but he's wise because he's using it in his life. And she mentioned about spirituality, realizing the self as a soul and transcending the physical, whatever domain we are in. And the more we look at ourselves, who am I? We start realizing our true inner potential, the beautiful qualities, and that actually starts making us more mature because we feel and we realize, oh, that yes, all the virtues, powers, all the things which are taught at Brahma Kumaris, which we are an embodiment of, they're all within me. It is I who is not choosing to use them at the particular time when I should be using. So that's what she said. And that's her quote on maturity. Maturity protects you from letting people walk over you, and your own sense of fulfillment increases. Again, very deep, that maturity makes you comfortable in your skin. You're fine as you are because you know that's what you are. And even if some person wants to walk over you, you don't feel bad. On the contrary, you develop mercy for the other one and you accept him the way he or she is. And on the contrary, this is because your contentment and fulfillment is high enough to accept as they are. We'll take a few questions. We have 5 more minutes. So do we really have to take many years to become mature? I remember Ekta sharing, and Sister Shruti also spotted on that maturity is nothing to do with age. And the question here was, any quick fixes, any quick tips to become mature fast? So the answer is evident in front of you, that actually we need to realize that maturity is not time bound. It's nothing to do with age. And all of us have actually very little time left. We don't know how much. In the sense, I'm not trying to scare you and speak about destruction here, but I'm just saying that we don't know which is our last breath. And this was again the slogan of our dear mama, whose photo I shared with you at the start of the talk, start of this 10 minutes ago. So she was like, it was her slogan that in Hindi she used to say, Har ghadi, antim ghadi, which means every moment should be considered as being your last moment because you don't know when you leave the body. So actually we have very less time. But in whatever time we have, we can raise our awareness to see what values we have. That's what her answer was for this. Interesting second question was, a youngster was asking that somehow I don't feel comfortable in the company of very mature people. And these 4 words were categorically mentioned because they are cold, insensitive, reserved, and very boring. So comment on this balance of the values of maturity and being entertaining, because we learn a lot about many balances at Brahma Kumaris. One of the balances, even if you're mature, try to balance it out by having an entertaining nature so that people don't go away from you. Because if you distance, if you people think, oh, he's so mature, I can't approach him, be approachable as well. And as mature as you are, be entertaining to that extent as well. This was our specialty. I remember Sister Denise from Vancouver Islands was sharing, the founder father, Brahma Baba. He was very mature and also entertaining at the same time. So the answer to this question is, it's not about age anything. And on the contrary, a spiritually mature person will be very light, and he'll never make you feel that he's cold. On the contrary, he's very sensitive to what you are doing and what your problems are. And they actually are never boring, because spirituality is not boring. It makes you very light on the contrary. That was the answer in short. And yeah, coming on to this emotional maturity, which we touched upon as well before, that the question was, how does emotional maturity help in our spiritual growth? So on the contrary, I must say, and the world says now, EQ is equal to SQ. Your emotional quotient directly correlates with your spiritual quotient. The more you're able to deal with your emotions in a good way, in a positive way, you become more stable and mature. And that's what they are related. That's the way they are related to each other. How can we help those that are less mature to be more mature? Again, I think she said, don't get upset. That's important, which I also mentioned, that we need to control our getting upset or angry with others, because I need to respect myself, because when I am getting upset at someone else's immature behavior, I'm actually sort of more weaker than that person. That person is more strong because his immaturity is making me feel upset. So I have to become more mature, respect myself. I don't need to get upset. And I need to really find out what this person needs. Does he or she need more attention, more respect, appreciation, so on and so forth. And as someone matures, you can make out, as we are taught here, that feel the pulse of the person, not the physical pulse. It's about what that person or the soul is hungry for, which is making them immature. And I like this answer, very beautiful, that let us try to understand what this person needs. I think I'll stop here because my time is up. And yeah, thank you so much, Sister Sharonah, for being with us. And before I pass it on to you, I need to introduce you to our audience. You have been with us before as well, but still again, once more. So, Sister, just a moment. Sorry, many things coming up on the screen. Yeah, so. Okay. So Sister Sharonah, basically, her field of service is Israel, but since many months she's here, let's not speak about Israel now. But she is a spiritual trainer with passion for social development and a lot of experience in life management skills and behavioral and spiritual counseling. And if we look at her academic career, she's worked as a senior lecturer at the Boston University. And she edited and authored a few books and articles on spiritual empowerment, social development, and healthy lifestyle, and has traveled extensively. She's also a workshop facilitator, and I'm sure we are looking forward to quite a few activities with her, which she'll be facilitating. And since 1984, it's almost 40 years now, she's been a faculty of the Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. And she also she's also conducted many training modules, just to name a few: values in education, positive thinking, stress management, many things. And as always, before we go on to listening to her, a poem on her and also on maturity. So hold your breath, Sister Sharonah. Sister Sharonah is indeed so genuine and pure. Being truthful is indeed her true nature. Her approach in life is so very mature, so that in life she's never unsure. Her thoughts are never obscure. That's because she's got a goal for sure. She shall teach the technique of how to procure so that we get rid of feeling insecure. The Supreme Being teaches us the art of how to endure and make our life stable, strong, and secure, because Raj Yoga lifestyle is indeed the much awaited cure and the only way for success to assure. So with this, I pass it on to Sister Sharon. Thank you for joining. And as we speak, she's joining from Gyan Sarovar. Over to you.
Yeah. Well, my goodness, Manoj, you wrote that poem? This is what you do when you can't sleep at night. You get up and write these poems. I can't imagine whenever else in your very busy schedule you'd have time. So how creative and talented a facilitator we have for this whole very special kind of evening. So that's a long way of saying thank you very much, Manoj, for inviting me and for holding these conferences, research papers in action, because just recently I've really been appreciating the reality of the power of virtue, the reality of the power of virtue. So maturity is one such virtue, and there would be so many. But how much has my faith in virtue been restored? How much faith do I have that, especially in these times, with every single karmic account abounding, karmic accounts that haven't yet been settled, have I realized that the currency which pays my karmic debts is virtue. But not the kind of virtue we've been doing maybe for many lifetimes, or maybe even for a big part of this lifetime, which would be a human virtue, pretty much from the outside in, whereby your virtue is because mommy told you to be, or your priest or your rabbi or your guru told you to be. With that, as we grew up and found ourselves in environments that didn't seem to hold those same values or principles, we could have really begun to doubt the power, the value of virtues. And you know, when we come to the word maturity, I don't think there's a better word to describe what a spiritual path is all about. Because the aim of a spiritual path is to emerge the very energies of virtue from the inside out. And that's so different from what many of us might have been doing for so long. The sign that you're working your virtues from the outside in is that you're resentful when people don't appreciate how virtuous you are. And you're aggravated and irritated because they don't follow the same code of conduct. And you begin to count the number of times you perform with that virtue. And at some point, you start bargaining on some level. Why should I be mature? Why can't somebody else take the turn? Good sign that it's not coming from the inside out. It's not that divine nature that I've really come to believe we are made of, which is expressing itself. It's just a programmed, conditioned from the outside in formula for how we should be in life. So it's so lovely to take time to explore virtues. Really give some quality time, not just to understanding them theoretically from the outside in, which is important, it has its place, but also where is that energy? Because we do say qualities, virtues are energies. And those energies are not found in a piece of chocolate. Even though that piece of chocolate can give me so much happiness, happiness is also an energy, and it's not in matter. That piece of chocolate is triggering that energy which sits inside me. And a good spiritual study ultimately proves to me that I don't need the chocolate, I don't need the chocolate cake, I don't even need people, and I don't need circumstances to make me happy or peaceful or mature. It's an energy. Maturity is the result of emerging all these energies that I am made of, but somehow have gotten repressed, suppressed, buried. So here we are, spending time exploring maturity. And it's been a fabulous research up to now, for sure. I was telling Brother Manoj, I really didn't know where I could go with it after such an exhaustive research already in a first hour. But because I really do love the study of virtue, an idea did come to my mind, and I will share that with you. I have 3 very short videos Let's take a look at them and see which one, in your opinion, best represents maturity. You've all been studying it for an hour. So now you're all very, very schooled on the subject. But before we do that, I will also ask, does anybody have any questions about what I just said or anything up to now?
So if I can request, thank you, Sister Sharonah, for being so open to having questions. So if I can request the participants who have any questions, please feel free to interact her, because that's the way she likes it. Even all the Gyan Sarovar talks which she's given, they're actually more of the facilitation workshop style. So you all can please feel free. I hope you all can unmute yourself. I just check the settings. Yeah, yes, you all can. So please feel free to interact with her. Thank you.
And to compliment Manoj by that was so sweet to remind people of the format here. But you're also quite free not to say anything. It's, you know, just to keep the door open. And if anybody has something they want to share or ask, most welcome. And for this, the framework I'd like to give this is just let's take a minute or two of silence. Just to reflect on everything that you've been hearing and see where does it sit in your own journey, in your own life. So first, before anybody says anything or asks, can we just take 2 minutes of silence? Thank you. Anybody want to share anything or say anything? I saw in the chat, one person was mentioning that, or it seems to be a question, is maturity time related? Time is essential. I don't know how you all feel about that, but I don't think it is. I think it has to do with a lot of other factors, which we'll look at after these videos. Okay, so Manoj Bhai, can you put up those videos?
Yeah.
And at the end of the first one, we'll just take a 30-second pause for people to decide for themselves which of these three indeed reflect maturity the most. Okay?
So I'll play one video, wait for half a minute, another, so on. Okay, fine. So
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
get time to absorb what it is. Yeah, fine.
That's right. And you all are marking video 1, video 2, and video 3 for yourselves. Yeah, so let's hold that a moment. You're just reflecting on what you saw. And would that be the best representation of maturity, and why? So no sharing now, but we will go on to the next video in a few more seconds. Yes, Manoj Bhai,
Okay,
can we see the
sure.
next one?
Yeah, just a moment. Actually, we have trimmed that video, so
Good.
we could trim it because it was a big one. So it's just plain. Just a
Good.
Nikhil bhai, are you there? Yeah, it's there. It's there. Okay. Yeah. So let me just play it. Share the screen. So this is a 2.5-minute video. So I don't think there are subtitles if you don't understand their accent, but let's see. So if you're finished reflecting on the second, should I show the third one, Sister Sharonah?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a very brief one and a very lovely one. The loveliest of all. Just make it full screen and then play. So bear with me a minute. Yeah.
이거 아팠다. 아이고. 이거 아팠다.
Okay, so yes, over to you, Sister Sharonah.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, let's just be sure that we all saw the same thing. In this last one, with the two children, what did we see? Can somebody help me with that? What did you see physically? What was there?
Yes, come on, please unmute and speak. It will be good to hear you all.
There was an accident, that's right. We saw two toddlers, two babies. Now that's interpretation. I'm not looking at interpretation yet. Just what did we see? What happened? There was an accident.
Yeah.
I'm not asking. Hold on, sorry. I'm not asking which is your choice. I just want to understand, did everybody see the same thing? So in that third video, what exactly did we see? We saw two toddlers, babies, and there was an accident. What was the accident?
She opened the door with the one hurt the boy standing behind.
Yeah, she opened the door and it hit the other kid right in the Forehead. That's right. And then what happened?
The boy started crying because he was hurt.
Boy started crying. And then what happened?
But the girl immediately kissed his forehead.
Gentlemen, what is that?
The girl started hugging him.
That's right. Hugging and also
laughing.
Patting the place where
Loving
it
and,
hurt.
And kissing, loving and kissing.
loving
That's
and
right.
caring.
Loving and kissing the place he'd been hurt. That's right. That's what we saw. Thank you very much. And in the second one, the middle one, that was the one with this child who kept getting up and running. Can somebody help us understand what we were seeing? Accent is difficult. So what exactly were we seeing? Somebody want to try?
A temper tantrum of the boy.
Temper tantrum of the boy. Good. Someone else?
Yeah, Shanti, I feel that the two others were discussing about the child, and the child was not able to hold on to his emotions, and he was dysregulated, I feel, and yeah, and he was agitated, the child, and the two others were discussing about the child, and at the end, the child was crying, and also one of the others. She said that after punishing also, she's loving back to the child. She's saying, okay, I love you at the end.
Yeah, there's don't know my computer. Manoj, are you hearing a sound?
Sorry, which sound?
You're okay? You don't hear a sound?
Yeah, I mean, we are hearing sounds, so people can please mute yourself if you aren't speaking.
Yeah, if you're not speaking, because that's very weird sound.
I can't figure out who is. Okay, no, now it's fine. Thanks. Yeah.
I hope it's not my computer. Okay, so again, no interpretations here. Just what did we see? Yeah, these were two adults who were talking about how to discipline the child. And was it easy? Was the child easily disciplined?
No.
No. What was the discipline? What was the punishment? Did you notice?
They were talking about timer, that they will make him sit in somewhere, and based on the timer, if he'd keep repeating or spitting on the mom, and they would make him sit in somewhere, yeah, box.
There was hitting and spitting to mommy, and there was what she was calling the punishment box. And the discipline was he had to sit there for his 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But did he sit there obediently? No, he was always getting up and running out. And what did she do?
Forcing him to sit
behind.
That's right. She was running after him and bringing him back to sit down. Some methods look like that for disciplining children. Okay, and in the end, it was a happy ending. It was a happy ending. He did sit for 3 minutes. Wow, I don't know what this noise is. Are you hearing a noise?
There is some noise. I don't know where it is. Even I'm trying to search. Maybe Nikhil and Sister Anu, if you can just figure out.
Yeah, I just removed
computer.
unmute option. Let's see. There were few people unmuted. I muted.
No,
Let's
don't
see.
worry, Sister Sharonah, you're fine. It is just some background noise is coming because probably someone's accidentally maybe unmuted.
Okay, I just hope it's not my computer that was
No,
doing that.
no, there is some background noise a little bit here. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. And in the very first video, do you remember what that was about?
Yes, go ahead, Sister Vidhi, Reina, or Geeta, sister. You all want to say the first video?
Yes.
Yeah, Lata, sister. Okay, has raised your hand. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, we are not able to. I'm asking you to unmute. Are you able to do now?
Yeah. So I can see that one of the boys, he just rushed towards the elevator, and the elevator was then overloaded. But then nobody was ready to get down, come out of the elevator, and it was just one floor away. So I feel that the person who was actually differently abled, she showed her maturity, and she thought not to use the elevator and give it the chance to other people to use, and she showed her maturity there.
Okay, that's your opinion. We're not there yet. We just want to know, what did we see? But indeed, a person differently abled herself got out of the elevator so that other people could get on with their life. Good, thank you. So that's all three. Now that we've...
Sister Sharonah, sorry, yes. I think, is there some background video on in your system? Because sometimes that happens.
No.
No. Okay. Because I felt it's mine, but there's nothing on because it's some noise coming from some system, from some laptop or PC. Well, then all of us are mute. So let's mute and see. It's then perfectly fine. Yeah, Geeta Ben, you wanted to say something? Okay, fine. Yeah, so please carry on, Sister Sharonah.
Okay. I'm getting that noise so loud here. It really makes me feel it's in my computer. Oh, it just stopped. That's nice. Okay. Wow. Blessed silence.
It's behaving very immature on the talk of maturity.
There you go. Okay, so Manoj, can we watch all three of them again? And this time, now that we're a little bit more familiar, make your choice. Which one, in your opinion, is the best representation? They might each exhibit certain aspects of maturity as you've understood it by now. But what do you feel is the best representation and why? That's what we're after. Okay, Manoj, let's go.
Oh, you're asking me to decide?
No, show it 3 more times. Show each one more time.
Oh my God, a lot of job to do. Okay, I have to go again. Okay, I'll go. Yeah, so just bear with me for till the time videos are coming up. Yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah, again.
Yes, I'll do it.
Each one could have been manifesting aspects of maturity. But in your opinion, which video exhibits the maturity to the greatest extent and why? That's what we're after, but we're just going to watch it one more time.
pull out the second one.
Again, if you're choosing the first one as the best demonstration of maturity, why? Be ready to explain why. Yeah, continuing.
Now they
I'll play the third one. Just a moment.
이거 아팠다.
Okay, so which one best represents and why? So someone here is saying it's the third video, best representation, because there is a change in the children. So maturity suggests someone is able to instigate a change. Interesting. I would agree that maturity does involve being the first to instigate a step forward. The third, there's a tremendous amount of love. So somebody's choosing the third, saying the reason, because all of them have some aspect or another of maturity, right? But the reason here is because there's a lot of love. So maturity would be connected with an ability to express love. Anyone else?
I would pick the third one as well, because the response of the little child was instant and she's a natural. The other two, they took some time to decide, oh, should I do this or that? And then they went for
There
it.
you go. There you go. Very interesting point that the third one is the choice because it was instant, as if natural, as if maturity, if it is to be coming from the inside out, like any virtue which carries power, then it would be instantaneous and natural. Very nice. Anyone else?
I think first one is very important, first one being a disabled person, and she took the decision, and nobody, and the body language is speaking volumes in that small place, so you can observe everyone's behavior, that nobody was willing to move an inch, and that lady took a decision to move out and let everybody go. That was great maturity behavior.
So on the one hand, like we were saying before, it's the ability to take the initiative, be the first to make things move forward. We see that there. But you were saying also that it was a decision that no one else was taking.
Exactly.
So, and also you were saying that no body language, I mean, no words. There was no language that exhibited her maturity. It was her action, her behavior, and her vibration. Did you notice something interesting about that lovely lady who stepped out of the elevator?
Smile on her face. A beautiful smile.
On her face
peaceful,
at the
like
end.
very peaceful, like the way, like it was very good. Like I don't know how to express that.
So that smile at
it's
the
a
end.
divinely grace on her face, Baba's love on her face, whatever it is, it was great.
Okay.
To pick on to this, Sister Senem, I'll take your sharing after I finish speaking. So I felt that smile which she gave was not a mocking thing, but she was feeling it's foolish on all these parts. It's such a small thing. No one is ready to do that. Like all of them are like small kids. That's what I felt. And Sister Sanem, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam. Yeah, I did like the first one too, especially her action and when she moved out.
Oh, you're breaking, sister, at least on my computer. And Manoj, can you hear her all right?
Am I okay now?
You're okay now. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I actually, I thought so too. So the first one where she just removed herself, very quiet and very humble, and just left the lift with a smile in the end. But then I think the most important thing we also learned is maturity is not about age, and that is shown in that video with the small children where she hits with the door of the fridge the other child and immediately turns and kisses the forehead. And I think this is a very, very good video for immediate action. Thank you.
Shanti, with reference to the question which the sister asked related to the first video, that the lady stepping out of the elevator, I feel that the lady, she came out, but she took a time to take the decision. At the same time, while looking back, she was feeling that she has shown maturity. She has given up for the other people. Like she was giving a signal to the other people in the elevator. I believe. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I think Sister Sharonah has been logged out for some reason, but she'll join soon.
She is not connected by audio for some reason. Maybe it was her bandwidth was low.
She's not there, but she'll join soon. I'll just give her a call. And in the meantime, you all can keep sharing if someone wants to share as well. It's a good time to share.
Dr. Manoj, I have a question to ask, like with this behavior the lady showed and the little child kiss. So it is in sanskaras or it is they come with it, they are born with this. Like the maturity means the inner strength you have, which you come when you come to the world, or you developed it.
Okay, so wonderful, Beena Bhain. Anyone else wants to speak? The ones you all can speak with your videos off as well, no worries. If you all want to share, ideal time to share.
Sister was asking Manoj Bhai that is it sanskar or what? The third video. Maybe she needs to answer. From Sharonah, sister. Is it a sanskar, the child healed the hurt?
She's here back. She's here, Sharonah, I can see. The name is there. So maybe let it come from the horse's mouth because she's, I don't know, she's logged off again, has she? Because I saw Sharonah first. Okay, maybe her internet connectivity.
There is some connection issue, yeah.
So we'll take this question, Sister Beena, from Sharonah, sister. And in the meantime, others can share, or you all can also chat with each other and tell the answer if you all feel appropriate to Sister Beena, her question. Yes, go ahead, Vijay Bhai. You wanted to speak? Yeah. Go ahead. I think you're cutting off, Vijay Bhai. We can hear you. Please go ahead. Okay. It's cutting off. You're cutting off. You have to just, otherwise switch off your, that's fine. Speak now.
Om Shanti, all the three videos showed maturity with a time factor. First video, all the people showed negative emotions by face, by anger, but nobody is taking a right action. Now the lady who had a problem or came out. So two things we understand. Sufferings bring maturity faster. And in the third video, and when she came out, she gave a drishti. Drishti made all people silent and lift went down. So things were in the end of one maturity made everything okay. But the best video we liked is the children video, because child did not take time with a natural kissing and kissing on forehead. So soul to soul connection became faster. So I think if we make decision fast and we are natural with a continuous meditation and develop good sanskars, we will become mature faster. Om Shanti.
So your choice is the third one? I'm sorry, but my internet just broke down. So my brother's choice was the third one.
Yes, sister. Third video is the best video.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
So we had a question from Sister Bina about the third video. Sister Bina, you can ask yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Om Shanti, sister. I just wanted to know that, we saw 3 videos and different scenarios. So I was wondering, the maturity is another name for sanskaras or environment. Like of course, when you're young, like little children, because when you teach your little kids, you know that they fight fast and they make up on their own fast. So you don't even have to interfere. But the child who was showing that behavior, showing tantrums, so I don't know whether he picked up from the mother's body language or whatever it is, anger, and also he also became anger. So what I give it to you, I'll get it back, right? So I was wondering that sanskaras, the maturity sanskar is a kind of sanskara, and it comes from like by birth we bring it, or we can develop it slowly, or environment teaches us, like, I don't know, because I sometimes I believe in this Western this thing. We are not open, transparent, and all. We don't speak our heart, and we have to behave like a very professionals wherever you go, like stiff upper lip and all. So like you don't even like, I don't know what kind of meetings go on and all. So I noticed so many things like that. So I was just wondering about it. What is the protocol of maturity?
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Okay. We don't have a lot of time left, so let me share some of my thoughts on this. First of all, as I was saying earlier, I feel that there's no better word to describe the effort of a spiritual path than this word, maturity. Because maybe overview of the concept is that I'm not reacting. I'm responding. I'm not ruled by my emotions. I have principles and I'm living by them. But from the inside out. This is the purpose of the spiritual practice, to catch what is in there, nurture it, strengthen its ability to express itself in the way I'm thinking and speaking and acting. And by that kind of effort, cultivate, fortify a divine nature. And on the spiritual path, we say that's our original nature. So maturity for me is kind of like an expression which results from activating, strengthening, and emerging what is natural and original to us. One of the reasons I also like the third video the most is something you all mentioned. It came natural, possibly because that little baby has received a lot of love. Each time she's hurt herself, she might have been kissed wherever it hurts. And so she knew that that works. So that part of her little self was already quite nurtured, quite activated, quite strengthened, so that when somebody else got hurt accidentally by something she did, nature, go and kiss it, show love. That's what helps. And it is by the same token that we activate and nurture what is innate in us. I might not have a physical mother who has given me that example or that kind of demonstration and experience, nor a physical father, nor a friend, nor a partner. But on a spiritual path, we have this new ways of relating to God. And I sincerely believe, I mean, this has been my experience, that the more I spend time cultivating new ways of being together with God, the more all those beautiful energies of virtue and quality are getting energized and activated and nurtured. So that more and more my natural response to people who hurt me, people who do hurtful things, people who are wrong, the natural, I think, Viviana, yeah. I think more and more the natural response for me is something much more reflective of my divinity. There's understanding, there's compassion. The first impulse more and more is caring. And yet, when all is said and done, I think it was our brother Manoj who said it way at the beginning. I think it was you, Bri, or somebody said, this is such a lovely video. The third one is so short, but it's so lovely. And when we looked at it, everybody's faces were so happy. Everybody had such a sweet expression. And I think that this is an extremely important quality of spiritual maturity. It is that the experience of it, when you're in front of a spiritually mature person, you feel like a fragrance, a sweetness. It's a very beautiful vibration, very elevated. I'm not reacting. I'm not influenced. I'm working according to elevated principles from the inside out. It's like a fragrance. It perfumed all of us, all of our faces became very sweet. And this, I think, is the hallmark of maturity as a virtue, which is growing inside us, not outside in, if you understand what I mean. And this is why the other two don't, for me, demonstrate maturity at its best, which would be spiritual maturity. Because in the elevator, I don't know what her smile was. I wonder, was she teaching them a lesson? Because truly, that spiritual maturity does not need anybody to learn a lesson, and I'm not performing in order to teach anybody a lesson. And if I ever boast about my mature response, I lose all the power of it. I don't accumulate anything, which is one of the main reasons we need to be interested in virtue and cultivating virtue from the inside out. We have severe karmic accounts, and they're paid only with this kind of virtue that doesn't want to claim any credit for its good act. So this is why, even though the first video is very powerful and very touching, I would not call it a demonstration of maturity. I would call it a demonstration of many different things, but maturity would be probably last on my list. And it's the same for the second virtue. Hardly anybody chose that as maturity. I would see it more because, like the first one, it didn't necessarily bring that sweetness into the atmosphere and that feeling of, you know, perfume and fragrance, which true maturity does. You know, I was at the hospital today because there's a guest who's come and they've asked me to give him the course. And so I'm taking him around a little bit. And I was at our global hospital near our campus, for those who don't know. And there's one sister there. She's in charge of a whole department, and I know her personally. We've known each other for many years. And I specifically wanted her to show this guest around the hospital. Actually, I wasn't even imagining that she would. I messaged her and I asked if if there were any tours going on that the guest could join. She right away writes me, come at 4 o'clock. I'll be coming up the mountain. Our global hospital is at the top of a mountain, and I'll take him around. And she was there at the entrance to the hospital to greet us. She offered juice in her office and then tole. She asked him where he was staying, just by way of chit chat. And it turned out that she's personal friends with the owner. And so she said to this guest, is there anything that you need? And jokingly, he said, yeah, a reduction in the price, discount. She picked up the phone and right away did it. She talked to her best friend and they arranged it and he got a huge discount. And I know this sister, I watched her. I love to watch her because I know what motivates her. She knows the importance, the necessity, and the value of good actions. Give, keep giving, because that comes back to us. That's an accumulation in my bank, which settles my accounts. And in some way, I feel that that's actually very connected to how we can increase our maturity or strengthen it, practice it. I think we need to be very knowledgeable about the codes of conduct of happiness. We need to be very knowledgeable about what actually makes us happy human beings. It is being patient, it is being tolerant, it is being all these things that maturity teaches us. But most of all, it's being this, not in order to teach anybody anything, and it is being this almost without thinking. Because I observed this sister at our hospital. She's not even aware of how much she's giving all the time. And certainly doesn't talk about it, nor would she ever have something to say about people who aren't like her, which is another way we just finish whatever otherwise could be accumulated. So I think what it takes, spiritual maturity, is very important knowledge about what's needed for my happiness. And again, I'm saying I have to accumulate good karma, which means giving. And it doesn't necessarily mean giving discounts to friends, sweets or juice, but this more subtle giving. Like, I have lots of patience. Let me put patience into this situation of others who are impatient and stressed out. I have lots of tolerance. Let me be tolerant here if nobody else is. It doesn't cost because it's coming from the inside out. I feel there needs to be an interest in happiness. Many of us might have given up on happiness, let alone what's required. Because to say, I'm not working from emotion, I'm working from principles and values which are nurturing, being nurtured from within. Well, it's just kind of to say that I know well-being exists and it's in my hands. Self-awareness, always being accountable for my own stage, my own mood, never blaming, accusing, waiting for somebody else to change. This is, I think, an ultimate expression of maturity. I'm interested in happiness and I'm ready to do the work to keep myself happy, which again is just an energy. Awareness of in whose hands is my register. When I do good, I don't need people to notice it or say anything or do anything about it because my register is not in the hands of humans. My register is with God. So it's okay if people like it, don't like it, notice it, don't notice it, appreciate me or not. And then strength. We need the strength to uphold all these codes, which is, I think, something touched on throughout tonight's session that comes from a study of spirituality, walking the spiritual path, which really focuses on nurturing that very energy inside. It doesn't need to be adopted. That energy is inside, but it needs to be cultivated, practiced, experienced, and cultivated. So these are some of the things I wanted to share. And I think we're kind of running out of time.
Thank you. Actually, we have ran out of time already. So I'll request Sister Anu, if you can please do the vote of thanks, and I'll do the quick announcements. And then we'll do a closing meditation. Hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, for how long? Half a minute?
Maybe 5 minutes is okay. People can still stay. I want to thank on behalf of everyone who is listening today to you, Sister Sharonah, for leaving us thinking, actually, what is truly maturity and what is, I felt seeing the videos, what is stopping us from being mature. I think I will go into the video again. But yeah, third one was so spontaneous, natural, as everybody shared. And I loved it. As you said, we have to be interested to be happy and do the good actions that spreads only happiness, not looking for. I loved it. You said, who is holding the register? That's amazing. Thank you very much. And we all benefit very, very highly from all these sessions. And we repeatedly watch it again. We collect our points that can help us to progress spiritually. So once again, thank you very much. Over to you, Manoj Bhai. See you again soon.
Thanks. So thank you so much, Sister Sharonah, for this. And quickly, just all of you get ready with your video cameras on so that we can take the spiritual mature photograph, as Vijay Bhai always requests. So moving on with the next value of the month is adjustment. So I think it's correlating a person who's highly mature would also be highly adjustable in his behaviors with others. So we have Sudha Didi, who is the director of the Brahma Kumaris at Moscow, and that will be 17th of Feb, same timings. We will be sending you the invitations and links as always. And again, following that, the workshop. And it reminds me in Brahma Kumaris, 84 figure is a very auspicious one. So we are on the 84th episode and workshop. We'll have Sister Manda with us, who is a senior Rajogi teacher from the UK, has served the Global Retreat Center at Oxford for quite a while now. And that will be the week after that on Saturday, 24th. And then we end up, as always, the end of the month, we finish with the silence retreat on the same value, that's adjustment. And this is a beautiful calendar, which is there as a display picture DP on the WhatsApp group of online valuable angels and the Bhakti group. So anyone who's interested to be a part of these, please let us know your WhatsApp numbers as well. These are our websites and email addresses and the links for the episodes and the workshop talks as well. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen, and if you all can quickly just, Anu sister, take the photograph and then we'll go in a meditation mode. Yeah.
Right. We always love these photographs, these very special moments we get with our seniors. So everybody, I still give you a few more seconds. So just give me a minute. Yeah. Okay, one more minute. Is everybody ready? Yeah, beautiful smiles. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I got the photo and we can share it with Sharonah's sister. We memorize this moment always with our sweet seniors who give us so much wisdom. Thank you. Got it.
Over to Sister Sharonah for the closing meditation. Do you want to just give drishti or some commentary, whatever?
A little bit of commentary, maybe.
Okay, sure.
One of the greatest joys of a spiritual experience is to discover that there is a place inside me which is made of a singular wavelength. So much of me inside might be a confusion of different frequencies, different wavelengths, fears, doubts, hesitations, insecurities. Move around a large part of me in an inner world, often drowning in too many varieties of frequencies and wavelengths of energy. And yet, I can move into a space as if just above all those mixed varieties, as if just above there's a singular wavelength, which is so simple, so clean, so clear. And as I place myself on that singular wavelength inside, but above all the chaotic wavelengths below, I really feel myself distancing, separating from all that lower kind of energy. And I'm coming into this gloriously singular wavelength. So simple, so peaceful, and gentle. And I discover that this is much more than a wavelength. It's as if it's a whole dimension carrying me into a world completely made of this same singular wavelength of gentle quiet and peace. And it's as if I enter God's world, which is so charged with the singularity of this one wavelength, peace, peace. And like the color white,
I think she's froze again, so I think we can end it. So
Yeah,
thank you
I
so
think
much
the
for
internet.
Yeah. Well, it's happened in the right time. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you, and see you all next
Thank
week.
you, everyone. See you again next week. Bye. Om Shanti.